24/7. This is EWN.
Good evening, I'm Lerato Hufila. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa's presence in the Democratic Republic of Congo is not a declaration of war against any country or state, and that SA troops are part of SADC and UN peacekeeping missions. At least 13 SANDF soldiers have been killed during the fighting between the DRC government and militant group M23. The group has taken control of most of Goma, and international observers accuse Rwanda of militarily backing M23. Offering his condolences to the families of the 13 fallen soldiers in the DRC, Ramaphosa says they are being offered all the necessary support. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Political parties have this week strongly criticized government for sending South African soldiers to their deaths in the DRC, given a resource-depleted army and reports of inadequate food and supplies reaching troops stationed around the eastern city of Goma. President Cyril Ramaphosa says he's concerned about the speculation the deaths of the soldiers has sparked around the state of the country's troops and their battle conditions. He says Defence Minister Anzi Motshekga, SANDF Chief Rudzwani Mapanya, and the mission's force commander in the DRC, Monwabisi Jakopu, are ensuring the forces are well equipped and sufficiently supported. Ramaphosa points out that Malawi and Tanzania have also lost troops in the fighting between the M23 rebel group and the Rwanda Defence Force. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
The Auditor General's office is sounding the warning on the financial viability of the country's two biggest metros, Joburg and Tshwane. Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts is today discussing the 2023-2022 audit outcomes, which the Auditor General's office has told Parliament has shown no real improvement over previous years. And City Power says it will be meeting with Kliptown Square community leaders following a standoff between police and residents in an attempt to cut off illegal electricity supplies. The power utility was in the area today to clamp down on illegal connections. However, the operation had to be halted due to protests that turned violent. Jabuli Lambata was there.
Residents confronted police head-on, preventing them from entering the complex. This resulted in City Power staff backing down and calling off the operation for today. The power utility says 120 residents were found to have bypassed meters in December. Today, an additional 3 units were found to be illegally connected. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena.
Following the violence that we're basically starting to brew around here, we decided as City Power and Joshua that we are going to abandon the operation. We've met with the leadership here on site and agreed that we should meet.
Mangena says the meeting does not mean the disconnection operations will stop. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News in Soweto.
A fine day in store for Gauteng tomorrow with isolated afternoon thunder showers expected. Lerato Hufila, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Let us have a look at the 6 groups now that the draws are complete. In Group A, we have Morocco, Mali, Zambia, and Comoros. In Group B, we have Egypt, South Africa, Angola, Zimbabwe. In Group C, we have Nigeria, Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. In Group D, Senegal, DR Congo, Benin, and Botswana. In Group E, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Guinea Equatorial, and Sudan. In Group F, we have Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Gabon, and Mozambique. The stage is set for what promises to be an unforgettable tournament.
Nedbank's Group Executive of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Kensani Nobanda.
Congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs for being able to get through the round of 32. No disrespect, but they know that they've had some tough moments. So it's always great for us, like when the big three get through from the round of 32.
Can you feel there's a pain here in my nabi? Manavi just under the armpit. Felt that shock. You know.
Firstly, it's been a long time since I've heard that there's such a huge tennis event that I think maybe a lot of people would definitely look forward to, especially those that really do support tennis. We really do not see a lot of tennis events that really do happen. Maybe it could boil down to the marketing.
So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Peter Novel. He's an SA Davis Cup team captain. How ready are they?
They are very ready. A lot of the players have been coming out of base training. In the beginning of the year, they tend to get a window of putting a couple of weeks together where they can get their bodies ready for the entire year. These players have just come out of that period.
You know what? We dive straight into business. I even forgot to congratulate you because it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal all over the world if you're a Davis Cup captain.
I am a very, very true South African, and when I hit my last couple of balls on the tour many years ago, I always said I was going to come straight back to South Africa, and I did. What's been nice for me is I'm on the ground.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
It's a jam-packed evening, UEFA Champions League. Plenty of games on the go tonight. We'll tell you all about them. Also, looking ahead to the Soweto Derby, we've got a great guest in studio, and also Pitsum Simane at the foundation, the club, everything else that has to do with the academy. Coming up right here on Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947. Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Well, I guess this applies now to everybody whose club has made the last 16 of the Nedbank Cup. I suppose you all are waiting, like everybody is around the country, with bated breath right now. In just, an hour or so, I do believe that the action will continue at the Mbombela Stadium. This is going to be a thrilling matchup between TS Galaxy as well as Vasco da Gama. But first, though, let's focus on the draw. Now, which teams are going to be facing off in the next stage of this prestigious competition? That is the big question indeed. And who will be the lucky ones and who will face the toughest challenges ahead? Now let's catch up though with Delmain Favor. He is Soccer Laduma's senior journalist who is attending the draw just to get his insights in terms of who is likely to play against who. So Delmain, I know that he's got all the inside track, just trying to find out what is going on over there in Randburg. Delmain, good to have you on the line. Good evening and welcome to MSW.
Rob, thank you so much for having me. Debut on the show. I'm quite excited to speak to you and to be with you guys.
I was about to say, man, it's about time. I don't know where you've been hiding all of this time, Delmain, but such an honor, such a pleasure. Great work you do. We follow your work and certainly looking forward to having a brief chat with you right now. You are in Randburg. Set the scene for us.
I'm here, and so are 14 other clubs, or let me say 13 other clubs. 2 of them are playing at the moment. And then obviously there's the missing one that stands out like a sore thumb.
Royal AM.
Yeah. So we're not quite too sure what's happening with that fixture. But all of the teams are here, all of the captains are here. Everyone, you can see there's palpable tension. Everyone wants to know who they'll be facing. Everyone is friendly for now, but we do know that when they step onto those 4 lines, Rob, all of that friendliness goes out of the window. So there's a lot of excitement also here, just to see. Everyone is hoping for a big round of 16 clash. You can say the smaller teams have been filtered out somewhat. So there's only the cream of the crop left, and everyone is looking forward to see who gets to play who in the round of 16.
Obviously, that is part of what the intention of the Nedbank Cup is, though, is about that David versus Goliath feel. But somewhere, somehow, the smaller teams have kind of fallen off by the wayside. What would you attribute that to? Because, I mean, we've seen in the past, and you follow football very closely, and we've seen some of the underdogs going all the way, even into the semi-final stage.
Better preparation, Rob. That's what I can put it down to, especially from the bigger clubs. You see Kaizer Chiefs coming up against a free agent, and they go and watch 5 of their last games, which tells you that it's something that they take serious. And obviously experience has taught them that we say perhaps we cannot undermine the players, because when we come onto the field, it's 11 versus 11. And all the experience and all your big name pedigree, that goes out of the window. So I think credit to the bigger clubs because they have been putting a lot more time and investing, actually doing the analysis on the so-called smaller clubs. And I also think that sometimes I've watched in certain matches, the so-called smaller players or the players from smaller clubs are overawed by the occasion. It's someone you've been watching on TV for the last few seasons, and now you come up against him and you give him that respect on the field, which is a good thing if you're trying to be noble. But if you're trying to win a match, not so much the case. So I suppose if you want it as a smaller club, you need to work for it. And it's not a case where you're a surprise package anymore because everyone is studying everyone and thoroughly so.
What about the big three, though? I mean, what are the chances? I know that from a sponsorship perspective, they're very happy. They said so themselves here on the show yesterday. But just from where they stand realistically, Orlando Pirates can go all the way and defend the trophy, win it again, and get to keep it for good. But for you, are they convincing?
They haven't played against teams where we could say, perhaps of the big three, only Orlando Pirates played against a decent opponent in Richards Bay. They've had really tough results against Richards Bay in the past. The fact that they managed to get past them 3-1 tells you that, again, Pirates had put in a lot of work into studying them, making sure that they prepared and also eliminating the element of surprise. For Sundowns, they played against Sibania Golden Stars. And again, the fact that they conceded 2 goals against that other teams could be looking at them to say that there's vulnerabilities in their defense and maybe try and capitalize on that. We know that the Sundowns of perhaps Rulani Mukwena wouldn't give away even a single goal because we know they're all about the stats. But this one perhaps, and I think Ronwen said it nicely, he said that we are sacrificing our beautiful game, Rob, for the more direct one, for the lethal one where we win the game regardless of how it looks. Might not look as good, but if we get the 3 points at the end of the day or we advance, that's fine for us. Kaizer Chiefs, 4-0. The fans have been saying that it's a refreshing win. When you're a bigger team, you need to show it both on and off the field, and I think they did that, so kudos to them. Last season, we had a final with Sundowns and Pirates. Who's to say that we won't have that again? They definitely are the favorites. Chiefs at this point, if they do advance to the latter stages of the competition, would be a refreshing surprise. But a lot of people are not putting their money on that just yet. So definitely big favorites in Sundowns and Pirates, and fingers are being crossed for Chiefs.
Right, just a very quick one here, Delman. I know that you touched on it very lightly at the top, and it is a very serious topic, the elephant in the room, which is Royal AM. We were hoping that by this time this evening, there would be an outcome, there would be some form of communique coming through from the league to say whether they are in the pot or not, or does Milford get the bye, which obviously, and I think in a lot of competitions around the world should be happening.
Yeah, definitely. If you've read the last statement from the PSL, it says that all of their matches will be suspended, obviously because of the well-documented saga that is going on. I think for the sake of the competition, Milford should, because they have abided. They are lawfully in the competition. They don't have any issues off the field. So if you ask me, I say that Milford then deserves, by default, a spot in that last 16. So it's a bit sad that we're looking at a situation where we could be finishing a competition of the Nedbank Cup's caliber, where we have something like this, and then potentially in the league as well, finishing with 15 teams. You just think of the permutations, Rob, and you look at it and you say it's not a good look for our football. So if we're being just and the football gods are being fair, we go on and we say that Milford then, by virtue of Royal AM's their calamity, we say that Milford definitely should go on and advance.
All right, you talk about football gods. If the radio gods are with us, we might chat to you before 7 o'clock when the draw is wrapped up. We are monitoring it from this side. But Delmian, Favor, thank you so much indeed, man. Really appreciate it. No longer a debut. You've done it, and you've done it well.
Thanks so much for having me to your listeners also. Thanks so much for lending me an ear, Barara.
Thank you so much. That's Sokala Duma's senior journalist coming through live from Randburg, delivering what he does best. And one thing I can tell you, though, that they're going to be hoping they deliver what they can do best, and that's Manchester City tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Can they do it? They are just, in South African terms, dekering.
Well, the situation that we have to have an option is win the game, and If not, we will not continue in this competition, and we wanna go through to have another chance to play another 2 games to qualify for the next stages. So it's not a problem; it's an opportunity, a challenge, and we will face it. It's not personally for me; it's for the club, and of course it will be not good, but I'm not thinking about that right now. So I know for all the people concerned about what's going to happen in qualifying, I appreciate it, your concern, and all of you to don't qualify, but I'm thinking we're going to do it.
Can they do it? That's the big question. But one thing I can tell you, though, the Pitso Msimane youth football isn't only paving the way, though, for exciting young, talented players, but also for some of the young coaches. Now, Damian Murphy, the general manager of the PMYF, will be right here. In fact, he's right here sharing his insights into the noble mission, as well as giving us an exciting overview of the 2025 coaches induction, highlighting, though, its significant achievements. And they've got to be significant achievements, I can tell you that. And also the impact on the young talent in our communities. We'll pretty much delve a little bit into the inspiring work that's being done by the PMYF and how this recent induction has paved the way for future success as far as youth football is concerned. Damian Murphy, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Rob. Thanks so much for having me and having PMYF on the station tonight. To all the PMYF listeners, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
You guys have been knuckling down, man. I mean, it almost feels like you're in August right now.
It does feel like it, Rob. We haven't been sleeping. We've been doing a lot of work from last year into this. Coaches program, the soccer schools, the football club, been growing in leaps and bounds. So much so that we've actually had to, structure his programs, more formal way and formed Pitso Msimane Youth Football, a new company. To sort of house all of the different programs, that coaches invested in. And we've grown by more than double. Last year we had 50-odd coaches. This year I think we're up to 92 coaches that we fully employ. So we've definitely been busy.
But how do you manage that, though? Because I remember pretty well the conversation we had in studio here. It was about the conceptualization. It was about bringing it together. It was about reaching out to the market. And now when you talk about, shooting and propelling from 50 to 92 plus coaches, that is extreme. And how are they feeling? Do they understand the idea behind this big challenge?
I believe they do, Rob, because, we prepare them correctly. And I think we got to come back to the vision, that Coach Pitso has for youth football development in South Africa. We're about creating that player of tomorrow. That's Coach's vision, his mantra that we now all live and work by. And to do that, we got to go out and we got to reach the masses, we got to reach the kids, and so we got to scale our projects accordingly. We formed key partnerships. I think we know, PMSS, the soccer schools program. We have a key partnership with the Curo group of schools. Last year we were at 12 schools. This year we've moved into 18. So we administer our program to 18 different schools around the country. That last year we were only in and around Johannesburg and Pretoria, really. Now we're in Cape Town, we're in Bombela, Rustenburg, we're all over. And so we've had to scale the project accordingly. We had our induction just about a week ago, the High Performance Center in Pretoria, where we had our 92 coaches come in for a couple of days, where they have to go through, certain presentations and courses and that sort of thing, where we equip them with the tools that they will require to go out and administer, coaches' philosophy in terms of coaching, youth football. And, the reception that the coaches gave us was amazing. Walter Steenbok was there, obviously, to speak to the guys too, because obviously we need, as a youth football development program in South Africa, we got to, pull in the right direction and align ourselves with, whatever the country is doing, because, Coach had said to us, 10 years from now, 80% of the boys and girls who form part of Bafana Bafana and Banyana Banyana need to come through his program in some form. And that's a big, lofty goal that he's set for us. I see that as a KPI, which is scary, but it's something we're taking on, full steam.
I think the legacy, though, can also reflect back on the legacy he left at, say, Sundowns and what that has done for the national team. Yeah, via other coaches that came after him, but I think it's a footprint. It's about that particular legacy, and if you can do it at the youth level, and many people, I mean, just as we chat, I'm looking at social media, people saying maybe just embellish a little bit about the structured training. You know, they're asking about what that really entails, you know, where you incorporate your life skills, you bring in as well a little bit of education, but the structured training is what they are zoning in on. Are you able to elaborate about that?
No, definitely. And I think also go back to, you know, when we conceptualize what it was PMSS initially, Pitsa Mosimane Soccer Schools, you know, coach saw a problem in South Africa in terms of, you know, our youth football development and how do we address that problem. And so as MT Sports, you know, his management agency, we did a research project, I guess, and we looked at various different successful sports people, teams, Williams sisters, Tiger Woods, Lewis Hamilton, the All Black Springboks was another, you know, sort of entity we looked at. And it came down to something very simple. Coaching the correct technique at a very young age. That was, you know, plain to see through all of those successful individuals and teams. And so that's where we started. That was, I guess, the building blocks of PMSS.
I mean, would you think, just to ride on what you're saying before we take a quick break, is that a lot of coaches come into the country, especially coaches that come from Europe, and they come into South Africa and they say, we're now starting to teach basics at a professional level. You find that somebody who's 26, 27, the basics of trapping the ball, passing the ball, just having wider vision of where to place a ball ahead of somebody else is problematic. Would you say that that pretty much stems from the fact that those basics were never taught at a young age?
100%. Hit the nail on the head there, Rob. And I mean, if we have to use Coach Pitso's words, he speaks very simply, very plainly. He says a kid going to school, they have to learn how to read and write in grade 1. You can't send them to grade 5 as their first year of school and expect that they will know how to read and write. Start with the fundamentals at a young age, and then you'll be able to work and create and build that player of tomorrow. We honestly, we just start too late with our young footballers in this country.
All right, what role can you play as parents? Well, listen very carefully. After the break, we come back. Damien Murphy, General Manager, Pitsa Mosimane Youth Football, is here with us in studio.
Hashtag MSW, live now on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. At the same time. Hashtag MSW.
Listen up. How would you like to drive your way to campus in style or get your tuition fees covered? It's easy. Get and use your ABSA student account and credit card with 0 monthly fees and stand a chance to win a Renault Kiger or 50,000 Rand towards your tuition. Live yours and enjoy the best of student life. Your story matters. ABSA. ABSA is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. The all-new Suzuki Swift is more than just a great drive. It's a feeling of freedom, of style, of confidence. A feeling that gets your heart racing, that gives you swagger, and lets the world know that you are the beat, the pulse, the sound of the street, and that you have arrived.
Feel iconic in the all-new Suzuki Swift. New tech, more safety features from just 219,900. Visit suzukiauto.co.za to book your test drive. T's and C's apply.
It's Harold's Net Forest Hotline. Hank on the line.
Harold, I forgot to get my girlfriend a Valentine's gift last year. I really need a hand.
A hand? Haven't you had enough of that already?
Come on, Harold. How do I fix this?
Well, handyman Hank, next time you go online, you don't need incognito mode. Just head to Netflorist and order classic red roses. Order for delivery on 13 Feb, and we'll add Freeland jockeys.
Thanks, Harold. You saved my neck.
And a fortune on hand lotion, no doubt. Netflorist. It's easy to show you care.
At Pick n Pay Supermarkets, we're helping you save big in 2025. Get assorted 600-gram Lancewood cheese for only R99.99 each. Assorted 1 kilogram Rainbow Simply Chicken Viennas for only R96.99 each. And assorted 6 100-gram Danone Nutri-Day low-fat smooth dairy snack, any 2 for only R36. Only at Pick n Pay Supermarkets. Valid 23 January to 9 February. T's and C's apply.
Enjoy incredible deals with Cell C this summer. Get the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE with free Galaxy Buds FE for only R499 per month on a 36-month Elevate 2 Plus contract when you trade in a qualifying device. Play on the Cell C app daily for guaranteed rewards. Sign up, upgrade or top up today. Call 084 145 or go in store. Offer valid until 11 Feb. T's and C's apply. Nothing should stop you. Switch to C. Cell C.
Big news! Deal or No Deal has awarded over 7.5 million rand cash and continues to change lives. So, join me, Katejo, and stand to win up to 250,000 rand by registering on dealornodealsa.tv. Catch Deal or No Deal weekdays on SABC2 at 11 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. and on SABC3 at 5:30 p.m. Proudly sponsored by LottoStar.
LottoStar is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Peter Noble is my guest here tonight. Also French Open champ, doubles again. Tennis in South Africa. It's very rare that we have such high-profile individuals coming through. All of the players you've selected are within the top 700 ATP rankings, which really augurs well. What excited me, the academy aspect. And then when I looked at one of the youngsters, Leo Matheson, I mean, he's only 18 years old. You've chosen him to be part of the group.
It's quite common when you pick your team to pick youngsters. You know, we've always done that and everybody does that. And with Leo he's been part of 3 Davis Cups, I think, before. And he's gotten some experience. He's played a couple of matches. And hopefully, I'm trying to feel the guys out and see where they are at. But hopefully he'll get a match, maybe a match or 2 on the weekend. And I'd love to see that.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
All right, everything to do with expansion as far as the program is concerned. 26 minutes after the hour, it is hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Welcome if you're just joining us. Otherwise, we are live on the YouTube channel as we speak. You can post any question or comment there as well. Damian Murphy, General Manager, Peter Msimane Youth Football, is here in studio. So maybe a couple of more very popular questions that are popping up right now is... trials. I mean, do you have trials? When are the next round of trials that are going to be staged?
Yeah, Rob, so the Pitsa Mosamani Football Club, I guess that's our youth football offering, you know, that serves a broader community, open to the general public, you know, wherever the club is located. You know, so this year we've got 4 clubs. One's in Mamelodi, another in Boksburg, Roodepoort, Parkview. There could possibly be a 5th one, which we're hoping to reveal soon. But yeah, at each of these clubs, we have trials starting, I think, as early as next week, February. We'll be posting on our socials and that sort of thing as to when the different age groups can come through for trials. We're looking forward to a good and big turnout. Last year, I think if we consider, there were almost 2,000 kids that pitched up at PMFC Mamelodi for their trial. You know, it was quite exciting, and we were obviously taken aback by the interest. So we prepared accordingly this year. I mean, once again, our trials are obviously free. It's something that we believe in. Every child should have the opportunity to come and play. The reality, though, is PMFC is a pay-to-play program. So those selected, children will obviously need to, register accordingly with whichever club they trial at. But yeah, we're raring to go. Looking forward to big numbers coming out to trial.
What's big numbers, though? I mean, give me an estimate. If you say 2,000 rocked up last year, then now double?
Rob, we weren't expecting 2,000 last year, so we didn't know what big numbers were. 2,000 was very big for us. If we consider similar numbers this year, I think we'd be pleasantly surprised. That was obviously Mamelodi. The other sites were slightly less. But I think, with the team and the club being out there last year, I'm sure at all the relevant sites, the numbers will increase and more kids will have the opportunity to come and play and, experience the PMFC program. It's something that we're keen to rock this year.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Fulfilling here. I'm good evening, Mr. W Shoulders. Good evening to your honored guest over there. This has always been refreshing from the moment Pitso Mosimane made the announcement to the type of guests that you have representing Pitso Mosimane soccer schools. This is always refreshing because we do need those academies to just groom these players for tomorrow and have the basics that they will not lack playing in the highest level in whichever league, in whichever country. It's always refreshing. I just want to find out from a guest over there if there was some form of buy-in that they got from any stakeholders, or hell, even the Department of Sports and Culture, if they got that kind of support to say, guys, you know what, we see this and we love it and we're going to support it, whether they got it from the Department of Sports and Culture, or they're getting it from the South African Football Association, or they're getting it from whichever stakeholder that really do like the idea and would want to support the idea and, you know, form some form of, what can I say, partnership or collaboration, all in the name of just grooming youngsters for tomorrow. Has there been any form of approach to the soccer school, or are they still working towards that? That's what I want to find out. Great show as always. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Damien.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually a great question because in terms of other stakeholders, the interest, it's 100% there. Everyone is happy to endorse the program. They see the value in it. They agree with the vision and the mission. We work closely with SAFA and various other stakeholders. But I think in reality, if we're talking about possibly commercial partners, I'll be very upfront and honest. We haven't actually been able to align with anyone just yet. And it's not because there hasn't been interest, but I'm also going to take it back to, aligning aligning with the vision. We've had conversations with different entities, and their idea of football development is to possibly go into a certain community, hand over kit and balls, which serves a purpose for sure. But for us, that's not necessarily youth football development. We're in this for the long haul, Rob. Creating the player of tomorrow is a 10 to 12-year project. So if we can, have conversations with people who align with that vision, I think we can definitely make magic happen. But until that point, we'll continue to engage with Sports Art and Rec, the Department of Education as well. It's very important. They're always up to speed with what we're doing. We are working closely with them on different projects. And so hopefully, in time to come, there will be news in that space, which will be exciting for everyone.
If you had to gaze into the crystal ball right now, and I had to say to you, which one would be your wish list? If a corporate that you always dreamt would align with you, which one would that be?
Well, it would be very difficult to pinpoint one. Like I say,
a major one. I mean, one that you think is the perfect fit, that if the two were to be aligned, it will be like a marriage made in heaven.
Wow. Yeah, Rob, I feel like I'm on the spot here, but we have an incredible partnership with the Cura Group. I mean, we must acknowledge that. We are working closely with them on future projects. And I think it's at this point, it's only relevant that I mention in terms of Coach's biggest vision, Border's vision. He wants to have his own school one day. He wants to bring football and education into the same space almost equally. That is of vital importance to him. Have that academy where we can bring the best of the best players, the creme de la creme, bring them into the one space, give them the education that they require, and obviously the football coaching that they need to go on and play at an international level. To do that, you need certain key partners. Cura is obviously one of them.
Absolutely.
But I don't believe, it would only be Cura. Anyone from the financial institution, anyone who has an interest in sports generally, in youth development, we're happy to take any call. We'll go, and we're knocking on any and every door, to be honest. So I know I'm not necessarily answering your question in terms of wish list.
But I think you're being honest enough to say that it is wide, but because you're also focusing on the schooling part. Curo comes in very, very handy there, and they do deserve a mention. I think they got a track record as well of producing Olympians who come back with medals.
Good evening, Rob and Damon. I'm very aligned with the with the vision, but I just want to find out, is the academy still going to play at the LFA level? Are you guys not missing out on an opportunity to expose these youngsters against the best in the country from a playing, maybe moving to Gauteng Development League. Also, we didn't see the academy at the IBA Cup last year in December, which is one of the biggest youth international tournament in the world. Are you guys not missing out on those opportunities to expose this talent? Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much. Damien?
Yeah, no, very, very good and fair question. So if you understand our programs, we have PMSS, which is the program within school environments. We have PMFC, which are our community clubs. They play LFA football, obviously registered and affiliated to SAFA. Our academy is an upcoming project. We're looking to launch that still in 2026, possibly. That's what I was speaking to earlier. And that is where we're talking about more high performance, development in that sense. And so once we have an academy, we will definitely look for the correct sort of level for those kids to play at, to challenge them and to develop them. And the GDL is obviously something that is obviously quite attractive to us and playing at that level. But with the academy, there's a time and a place for it. But it wouldn't be fair to throw our FC kids into that sort of a deep end right now when they're not ready for it. That wouldn't be aiding development. It would actually be hindering it. So we've cast our nets out wide. We've got quite a database of players that we have access to through the Cura schools. That's around 12,000 kids, that we're working with every single day. On the club side of things, that was 400 odd kids. It's going to be more this year. Once we have the academy structure in place, that is where we'll, look through our network, our database of players, and start pulling the best of the best players into one space. Then we can go and compete at, GDL and ABA Cup and even beyond. Why not go play internationally with these young kids? What an experience that might be.
Good evening, Rob. Nice show as always. Quick question to your guest today. I would like to know, what's the ratio to players per coach when they're conducting these trials? Good and well for him to confirm big numbers, but what's the realistic time to assess a player?
What's the realistic time?
So we've actually been putting together the strategy for the trials in the last coming weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad I have this answer straight up. We're going to ensure that every child has at least 30 minutes to play, and it will be one coach to 14 players.
One coach to 14 players. Okay. All right. As we head towards 14 minutes too, and so on. But you know what? It's a busy show. I thank you. And I think I look at the real employment impact that has been achieved here in just 2 years. It is certainly something to marvel at. So to you, your team, to Coach Peter Msimane, you know what? Things might not have worked out where he was coaching, as he makes his way back into the country. He'll certainly come through with a big, broad smile on his face. And it's a good balance having come out of something like that, to see the improvement, to see the growth. And Peter Msimane Youth Football continue to rise. Damien Murphy, General Manager, you continue with the good work. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Really appreciate it.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongeleni wakamkhwandla. Mr. Marawa, congratulations to my team, Amazulu, for making it to the next round of the Nedbank Cup against the Mighty Eagles. Mr. Marawa, after we played Stellenbosch, which were coming back from a 5-0 drubbing from Ipekani and then coming to us at home at King's Stadium, trapping us by 5 goals. And then our next game was against the Mighty Eagles, and then we trapped them by 5. I'm really, really, really sorry for the team which will play Mighty Eagles in the next game, because I think this thing of 5, it's a cold chain, Mr. Marawa. Thank you very much. Good show.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Nedbank's Group Executive of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Kensani Nobanda. I thought by the time you come here, there'll be a solution to this.
Royal AM.
Milford.
But I suspect where we are going to get to, because we have to have a draw, we have to continue with these games, and we don't know how long the Royal AM situation is going to go on for. I suspect that in the end, we might just say Milford goes forward, because it is a knockout competition.
Yeah. If you win a cup, back to back to back, 3 times. As Orlando Pirates, if they win, can do they get to keep the cup permanently?
Oh, they keep it, and it's not cheap, Rob.
I can imagine.
So there's, when you're sitting there and you're like walking for a bank and you're like, we must buy a new trophy.
Oh, make an innovator new one.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Almost feel like the lotto here, hey? Roll over. That's how busy we've been these days here in the studio. And I can tell you one thing as well. If you think your particular work, wherever you are around the country, the continent, or the world, you think your job is stressful, trust me, it is nothing compared to what this gentleman and his army of stadium soldiers are currently going through. And it's only midweek. It's only a Wednesday. Now, they are responsible for seeing that the game days and also all the proceedings at Soccer City are always seamless, and every particular detail that is executed there to the T. Now, Soweto Derby weeks are, understandably so, the most rigorous and also most ridiculous because people don't buy their tickets and expect to get into the stadium. I don't know how, but they expect a miracle to happen. But you know what? He always delivers top-notch spectacles at the Calabash. From security to pitch perfection. Okay, we'll get to that. All the logistics in between. I mean, they leave no stone unturned, to be very honest. And this weekend will be no different. Let's touch base now with this no-nonsense, gentle teddy bear of the stadiums, as they call him. He's got a nickname, finally. Stadium Management CEO Bertie Grobler is right here to dig a little bit deeper. Bertie, good to see you. Live in studio, not over the phone for a change, eh?
Thanks, Rob. It's I know it's because I needed to come to the headmaster's office this time to face the music.
Oh man, we were talking about Kiro schools, man. We're not that headmasters. We don't believe in that type of punitive punishment now, do we? Top of mind, and we're going for a break. I just wanted to introduce you so that people get their minds, they get their voice notes sent nice and early about any question to do with the Soweto Derby coming up this Saturday. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Rob.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
Drop into 2025 with a bang with Hollywood Bets and Pragmatic Play. Stand a chance to win a share of 5 million rand in cash, tech, and vouchers when you bet on selected slots and crash games on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays this January. Don't miss out. Bet now. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Hey Siri, where can we turn up?
Searching. Are you looking for the biggest party of 2025? Here's the tea. The Mahindra Fusion Fest on 22 February at Sunbet Arena, Pretoria is where it's at.
Mikasa, KO, Matthew Mole, Sipo Hot Sticks, Casper Nyovest, Young Stunners, Java, Gamumpela, and more come together in a never-seen-before fusion.
But wait, there's also fashion and art, and you could win a Mahindra XUV3 XO.
Get your tickets today at Ticket Pro. Mahindra Fusion Fest. Celebrate the fusion. Discover the X.
We are the shapeshifters, the ones who transform ideas into influence. We bend perceptions and mold minds. That's the power of the AAA School of Advertising. Become an industry force at Africa's only globally accredited advertising school. Choose marketing, design, copywriting, or art direction. And now take your creativity further with our new Digital Marketing Honours degree. Ready to shape tomorrow? Join us at aaa-school.ac.za.
Simplify your 2025 at Checkers and save with over 1,500 deals every week. Like Sir Fruit 100% fruit juice blend, 1.5 litres for $44.99. Parmalat Everfresh Long Life Milk, any 1 litre 6-pack for $99.99. And a Casio FX 82ZA Plus 2 scientific calculator for $269.99. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult, day 3,218. I exercised phenomenal self-restraint today by not making a financially devastating purchase. Time to make a less financially devastating purchase. Just a little treat.
Recently removed from the family payroll? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
You've seen it and watched it all online in 2024. Everyone being so mindful, so cutesy, so demure on their travels. I booked at Flight Center. They said, Terminal A gang, what? You watched while John went on another boys trip, this time to Bali. Bianca went on a solo adventure in Morocco. Pilu took the family to Mauritius. Don't miss out in 2025. Make it your year of travel. Visit us at your nearest Flight Center store.
Flight Center. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Group B, we have Egypt, South Africa, Angola, Zimbabwe.
Now, Bro says that on paper at least, Egypt could be the biggest threat in Group B.
When I look at our opponents for African, I think that Egypt is the favorite to win the group. They didn't make a very good last African. They were very soon out of the tournament. They did very well in the qualifiers, so that will be the team to beat for the first place.
Also, strangely enough as well, is when the AFCON's going to be taking place right across Christmas into the new year. That's going to be a bigger challenge, especially, South Africans are used to, hey, festive, buffet, festive, hey, mnandi Morocco.
#MSW. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
15 minutes to the hour. It is #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Batli Grobler, Stadium Management SA, is right here with us in studio. Checking you out as well on the social media platforms. Any questions or comments, please. This is your derby. It's something that you look forward to each and every year. And as Batli said before the break, that he is ready, ever ready. But are you pitch ready?
Rob, we're working tirelessly to get it ready for Saturday. And obviously we've seen the comments, and I said it in numerous platforms, the pitch was poor on the 26th. You know us, it's not our standard, but it deserves a bit of explanation. The venue is a multi-purpose venue, and that is part of the management agreement with the City of Johannesburg. So we plan fixtures and concert events a year in advance. So these 3 concerts, and by the way, we had in 30 days from the 14th of December to the 19th of January, we had 3 full capacity events, concert events. Normally the derbies are played, as you know, end of February, beginning of March. That allows ample time to get the pitch in pristine condition again. With the negotiations between the DStv Premiership and the Betway, the fixtures were moved and delayed, and for the first time now, we play 2 derbies in the second half of the season. So both derbies played in 2025, with the one derby moved to the 1st of February. We knew from the start it was going to be an issue, and we did some preparations, and then the Nedbank Cup fixture also pitched up. Load-in of that concert is only completed on the Wednesday. The pitch maintenance team, only had access to the pitch on the Thursday, and the game was on the Sunday. Not sitting here making excuses, but there's nothing that we could have done about that. The next question is, how is it going to be on Saturday?
Yeah.
Totally different to what of what your viewers and
the spectators were there.
That took the footage and posted. It will be totally different to that. I can assure you, there's a team on the pitch. It's a hybrid pitch, so we're doing stitching in the areas that's affected. There's a bit of steroids in, and as I say, the team is working tirelessly.
Well, I guess it's the only time steroids are allowed in sport.
Good evening, Rob and Betty Grobler. Betty, the stadium appeared less immaculate in the Kaizer Chiefs and free agent game this past weekend, and I just need to find out what steps have been taken to rehabilitate the ground to host a spectacular derby this coming weekend. Truly appreciate the efforts of stadium management to enhance a spectator experience through various innovations. However, what measures has stadium management implemented to resolve poor network connectivity issues around Soccer City? Because attending a game at Soccer City, one is running the risk of missing out on information, particularly when you've got an emergency that you could possibly need to attend to. Need to find out from you, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much. I think you've expanded with how you explained regarding the pitch. And I think the one thing Tebogo is raising, and which I also find frustrating at times, you almost think that there's a president of the United States and, all the satellite networks can't get through, and you're finding it very difficult for connectivity or to find out about results or even to send a WhatsApp. So I think he raises a new good point into the pot. How do you answer that?
It's good to get to the positives now.
Yeah.
We've negotiated for the best part of 12 months with various ISPs and service providers, and happy to announce that we've concluded a deal with Telkom, and at the Derby it will be tested for the first time. The lower level, the Ring of Fire level, and the embankment concourses will be fully equipped with Wi-Fi. We're also focusing on the media center, the media area, and the photographers at the on pitch level. I know they struggle as well. They obviously want to send the
images,
and the images directly. So this weekend, the first testing phase of that, and then after that we'll enter into agreements on with event organizers on rate cards. How are we going to make it available to the public? Is it going to be for free? Is there going to be some sort of payment? Because it's a huge investment. But in short, we're there now, and we're going to expand and develop that system, hopefully to the rest of the stadium as well.
So when you say it's going to be trialed this weekend, so I'm imagining, though, that there is no take that's being made as to whether or not that is free Wi-Fi available for the close to 90,000 fans that will be there.
We're going to test it tomorrow, and we'll do a press release on in what form it will be available on Saturday. Just to clarify, you won't have connectivity inside the bowl. It will be at the merchant stores areas, the kiosks, the entry points where you order your Uber, where you pay for your beer or your hot dog. That is the first phase of the project, and there will be an announcement on how it's going to be available in the testing phase.
Evening, Big Rob, and evening to Bertie Grobler. Mr. Grobler, the biggest question for me is the pitch ready for the Soweto Derby this weekend? Thank you, Mr. Marawa.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the ongoing problem. So to put this to bed, there were problems, I even said it to you off air, that watching the highlights of the games from the weekend was obviously very poor to the eye. So optically, what we were seeing was not what you would ordinarily see at the F&B Stadium. But you've given us an undertaking that day and night you are working to fix the problem, to almost get back to the pristine nature of a pitch that we've all become so accustomed to, outside of the fact that 3 shows have been sold out, and I think even sold out more than maximum, because the people that go and watch the concerts actually trample on that grass.
Yeah, just on your last point, it's not as such the trampling on the grass. We've got pitch cover that we meticulously lay out, and it's properly planned. The issue is, and excuse me for being upfront like that, some people urinate on the pitch when they're in the golden circle, afraid to leave their spots.
Yeah.
And then alcohol, and that's the issue. It's not the trampling; it's the burning of the grass via urine and alcohol. Just to the point again, our aim now is to ensure the playing surface is of the standard. The aesthetics at this point in time is not my priority.
Sure.
We can go and have a nice TV product, and the playing surface does not allow for a classic fixture. So that is the mandate to everyone involved. Get the playing surface to the highest possible level.
So a game should not be not interrupted, but it shouldn't be spoiled in terms of the potential quality simply because of the playing surface.
Indeed.
And that is what you're aiming and you are promising to deliver on Saturday.
Yes, and it's a apology to the football nation as well. But it's circumstances really beyond our control. But this is not how stadium management would like to present a pitch for a match and a fixture of this magnitude.
And this magnitude is shown by the fact that all tickets were sold 2 weeks ago. So there is an expectation. It's the bumper occasion of 2025 as we say goodbye to January, as we look ahead to these two teams who are finding revival, especially at Kaizer Chiefs, who I can safely tell everybody that is listening, Chiefs will be playing against Chippa United in the next round of the Nedbank Cup. Pirates will play Baroka. Durban City will play against TS Galaxy or Vasco. Sundowns will play against Mpeni Home Defenders. Marumo Gallants will play against Amazulu. Milford or Royal AM will play against Sekhukhune. Stellenbosch will play against Polokwane City. Supersport United will play against Cape Town Spurs.
Hi Rob, greetings to you and greetings to Brent. This is Tommy Hadi from Edendale. Rob, it's unfortunate that I won't be able to watch the Soweto Derby. Tickets sold out. Now my question to him is, what plans do they have to avoid those people who just sneak into the stadium without paying, and the contingents plan for those who sell counterfeit, which I can call fake tickets? I don't know if it's his office's responsibility on the ticketing and stuff. What plans do they have for that? Thanks, Rob.
All right, thank you so much, Tom.
Good evening, Rob. I'm not too sure whether I am posing the right question to the right person in as far as traffic surrounding logistics at the Soweto Derby. My observation is such that I attended the Chris Brown concert and there was a level of seamlessness in as far as traffic flow is concerned at that very same stadium. Is there no way that fans who are commuting to the stadium for the derby can be guaranteed such seamlessness in as far as inflow going into the stadium and outflow leaving the stadium? Because that is always an issue. Going in at the derby is an issue and leaving is an issue as well. Whereas I had a different experience at the very same stadium, having attended a Chris Brown concert, which was also quite full and sold to full capacity. Thanks.
Legitimate question, that. Very frustrating. You know, sometimes people even draw comparisons and say there is a way of conducting traffic for football, which is different to rugby, which is different to cricket. But there's always frustration. So, Chris Brown, great experience, frustration, derby. Bertie, are you the right person to answer this?
Indeed, I am. So to that, a response to that, the exact same team, the exact same stakeholders, the exact same deployment of JMPD that did Chris Brown 2 nights in a row and did the Calabash is doing the traffic management for the derby. The big issue is late arrivals. Now, and I said it in a press release earlier this week, Park and Ride is one addition that we're trying for the derby now. Everyone said to me, Park and Ride for the derby won't work. We took that bold step and we've implemented a Park and Ride system. All the information is available across the platforms. And I'm happy to say, in the bigger picture, small amount, 1,000 Park and Ride tickets sold at the moment. But if the message gets across,
yes.
Remember with the concerts, we took 17,000 people off the road with Park and Ride.
Oh.
How many vehicles is that?
Jeez.
So now that 17,000 and more than 17,000 people, because the concert capacity is about 72. We're speaking of 90,000. All of those vehicles are back on the road again.
Okay. And I'm glad you put the numbers because they put the perspective to it. So if only 1,000 people have bought the tickets for the Park and Ride, and you're saying for Chris Brown, 17,000 people use Park and Ride, that is a big difference. And if people shifted across their mentality of, trust the process, leave the car at a venue that is designated for that and use Park and Ride. For example, if people are in and around, Here we are. We're in Sandton. So there's what, Monte Casino being one of the venues. Off the top of your head, where else can they go? Because I think that is the key thing, to test people, to say, are you able to trust the system and trust yourself, your family, by leaving your car behind, using the park and ride, which will breeze into the stadium without having you to sweat in the traffic?
So we started with 5 pick-up and drop-off points: Monte Casino, Sandton City, Clearwater Mall, Mall of Africa, and Gold Reef City.
So you just pitch up, you find where it is, where the transportation is, you pop onto the bus.
Yes. You
And
buy
then
a ticket
you
on
go
Ticket
back.
Pro,
Mhm.
and you can buy a ticket at the site as well. There's a dedicated bus line for these vehicles, for the buses, so they're not stuck in traffic, and they move to the drop-off point. After the match, you jump on the bus, and it takes you back to your drop-off point, and you collect your own vehicle.
It's almost like a VIP.
Indeed.
Yeah, blue light type of treatment. And again, guys, I think by the time it's Friday, I would want to come onto the show and say we've moved from 1,000 park and ride to maybe 5,000. Let's try and alleviate the pressure and the congestion to it. I mean, lots of very important questions that are coming up here on my screen. But as you know, with time and with football, the referee's whistle is final. The game is over. But I know there's going to be more. We'll have you on the line because I want to find out about the Wi-Fi. I want to find out about the park and ride as well, just on the eve of the game.
Have I got a minute to address the earlier rival beer garden?
Yeah, very quickly.
Yes, we've also, with Calling Black Label, for the first time we'll have a beer garden at the venue. Gates open 11:30, live entertainment, first time on the outside, to invite people to come. DJ Stopper, Muzi, and DBN Gogo. They will be performing live outside the venue, and that's also an attempt to get people to the venue a bit earlier.
At 11 o'clock. We used to do this when there was something called the Wisa Spectacular or the Telkom, if you remember back in those days, the Charity Spectacular. We used to arrive at 9 o'clock in the morning. The game was already live on television. Please try the beer garden at 11 o'clock. Chill, have fun. Don't stress, guys. It's a Saturday. You need to have fun. Bertie Grobler, you look slightly stressed, but I hope that by Saturday, final whistle, you won't be. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks as always, Rob.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Stadium Management SA MD, Bertie Grobler. Tune in again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Marawa Sports Worldwide, brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW Live